Hey, wrestling fans, what's up? Look, before I do my review of Super Showdown 2020, I want to say thank you to Hard R Cards. He gave me a shout out on his channel, and since then my subscribers have doubled. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, man. That's really awesome of you to do that. Anyways, this pay per view is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I was expecting three of the matches to be really good, and pretty much all around the pay-per-view was pretty solid, except for one match that I didn't pretty much care for at all, but yeah, we'll get there. Anyways, first, let's talk about Viking Raiders versus the OC. I like both teams. I love the Viking Raiders. I've said before, they're the best thing that's happened to Raw Raw Tag Team Division. And the OC, some of you guys have said on the comments that they're misused, and I agree with that. I think the OC is actually a very strong team, and they need to be looked at as more of a threat than what they are. But anyways, the OC won, which, no gripes or complaints there. I'm more of a fan of the Viking Raiders, but, the OC really is a badass group. And yes, that's without AJ Styles. Just Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I mean, these are some of the best guys that there are. They need to get more screen time, just them two. Let's see. We also have Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza. Solid match. Didn't really feel like a pay-per-view match to me, but, it wasn't bad. We have Mansoor, I think I'm saying that right, versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, Mansoor won. Obviously, he's a native of Saudi Arabia. All of these Saudi Arabia pay-per-views, they put him in there. He goes in. He wins. But you know what? He kind of seems like he's out of place. Now, he's on the NXT roster. And since I've been watching NXT for 2 years now, maybe a little more than 2 years, I've seen him maybe have one or two matches. Now, I'm sure he does more that's not televised, but you know what? I feel like we seen him in Saudi Arabia. They build him up to look like something a lot bigger than what he is, and now we're probably not going to see him again until the next Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, when they're going to throw him in there with somebody just so he can win, and I don't really buy it with that. It was a good match. It was technically solid, but, I look at Mansoor and I think, I don't really know this guy at all. I just know he's from Saudi Arabia, and they try to make a big deal out of him, even though here in the States we never see him. All right, we have the Raw Tag Team title match. Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins versus the Street Profits. It was good. It was an okay match. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy retained. We have Bayley and Naomi for the SmackDown title. Bayley won. Now let's get to the stuff I really wanted to talk about. All right. Now we had SmackDown Tag Team title match with New Day versus John Morrison and The Miz. This match actually really surprised me. These guys went in there and they battled, man. And one of the things in that match that was absolutely crazy, you see at one point, it was Kofi Kingston. He did some kind of variation of a suicide dive. Went over the top rope outside of the ring to dive onto The Miz. Now, here's what happens when they usually do these suicide dives or kind of variation of it. You see, they always get caught. Now, the wrestlers do that, obviously, so they can break the impact. They'll jump over, and it looks like they're impacting the person, but really they're cooperating with each other. The guy's catching him so he doesn't just land on the ground. Kofi Kingston, now I'm sure The Miz was supposed to catch him during this dive, but he didn't. The Miz, he put his arms up like he was going to catch him for a second, then he kind of stepped out of the way, and Kofi Kingston from over the top rope landed flat on his back on the ground. That I've never seen that. I've never ever seen that since I've started watching wrestling, and that I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not. I know Kofi Kingston does some crazy stuff, but I highly doubt that was supposed to happen because that's, like I said, guys, there's a reason when somebody jumps over the top rope, they always hit their target. It's because that guy's actually catching them to break their fall, and that didn't happen here. He hit hard. Even the commentators seemed pretty surprised by that. But yeah, at the end of that, we got John Morrison and The Miz, new SmackDown Tag Team champions, which is awesome because I'm just getting kind of fatigued of a New Day. Honestly, I like them, but time for a change, you know. All right, now we have the Tuwake Gauntlet match for the Tuwake Trophy. I actually thought R-Truth was going to win this. He went in first, and he lasted all the way up until... Did he last all the way up until... Yeah. He beat Bobby Lashley, Rowan, and Andrade. Lasted all the way up until AJ Styles, and AJ Styles just kind of took a win over him easily. But R-Truth really gave a hell of a performance there. And then when it was time for Mysterio to come out, here's what happened. You see... he didn't come out. His music played a couple times. You know, everybody's wondering what's going on. Cuts to the back. It shows Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson beating the hell out of Rey Mysterio. And you think that's it. You know, you think that AJ Styles is going to win now because, you know, for forfeit. Anyways, The Undertaker ends up coming out. Undertaker beats the OC. He comes out, has his, 3-4 hour entrance, which, I don't care. His entrance can be long as hell. It's great to watch his entrance every time. I think he surprised everybody. He came out, choke slammed AJ Styles, and left. So really, he is the winner of the Gauntlet match. He took Rey Mysterio's place. I don't think anybody was expecting The Undertaker to come out. I know I wasn't. It was awesome. He really had an awesome entrance, guys, with the fire and everything. It would have been nice to see him have a little bit more of a match with AJ Styles, but you know what? That's Undertaker's getting pretty up there in age, so we're lucky if we just see a choke slam out of him. It was cool to see him. I don't really think he cares about winning the trophy at all, but you know what? He's the winner of it. All right. Let's get this one out of the way. Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin. This match was so odd to me. You know, Roman Reigns came down with a chain around his neck. He got into the steel cage. He's all angry, and he puts the chain around the door, locks it, and you're thinking, wow, Roman Reigns really just wants to whoop Baron Corbin all over the cell, and he doesn't want him having any chance of escaping. And then you know what? We didn't get that. It seemed to be a pretty even match throughout the whole time. And which is also fine. But, you know, if you're going to have Roman Reigns coming down angry, locking them both in the steel cage, you think it's because he doesn't want Baron Corbin to escape. And then at one point in the match, Roman Reigns is trying to escape from the cell. And Baron Corbin grabs him and puts him back in the cell, pretty much, and they go at it again for, you know, they both have their time to shine. I just feel like it would have been different. Like, you know, maybe Baron Corbin would have been the one trying to escape the cell, and Roman Reigns just, you know, keeping him in there, wailing on him the whole time. And I don't know, the whole match was just a little weird. It's like they set it up to be one thing, and then it ended up being the opposite. Whatever. I didn't care for it. Pretty much your standard not tag team, excuse me. Pretty much your standard steel cage match, but it could have been more and it wasn't. Either way, I hope their feud is done. I hope their feud is over. Let them both move on to do some other things. Now we have... we'll talk about this one first. Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet for the WWE Championship. Pretty much exactly how I called it, guys. They tried to build up Ricochet for what they could. Match started. Ricochet went in with he tried to drop kick Brock Lesnar, and literally, and the commentators said it just like this, he swatted the drop kick away. That match was everything I wanted to see. It wasn't too long. Brock Lesnar, after he just casually swatted that drop kick away, pretty much threw Ricochet around the ring like he was a rag doll for the next 3 minutes. Suplex after suplex, threw him around. At one point, he actually grabbed Ricochet. Looks like he grabbed him by the neck off of the ground and just picked him up, threw him over his shoulder, and F5'd him. And like it was nothing. Picked him up like he was made out of paper. And that was it. That was the end of it. Pretty much what I expected. And, I mean, yeah, I'm glad they did it like that. That's how it should have been. And the Fiend versus Goldberg. I was not expecting this match to be what it was. It wasn't bad. The Fiend did his thing. He kept getting back up after Goldberg would spear him. But at the end of it, Goldberg won the Universal title. That I was not expecting, because the Fiend has had all this momentum building his way. I really thought he was going to go on to WrestleMania and be one of the main events, for the title. And, I was actually a little bit upset at first that Goldberg won, but after I thought about it, it makes sense. Because, hear me out. The Fiend is awesome no matter what. The Fiend doesn't need a title. They proved the point to where the Fiend can take all these spears, and even after he was pinned, he just stood up from it like it was nothing. And he could go on doing his thing after this match. He can go on picking people off the roster, hanging their pictures up in the back of his Firefly Funhouse thing with the X's through their eyes. He can continue going through the roster and doing that, and he can do that without the title. They put the title on Goldberg. I think he'll probably hold it till WrestleMania, and somebody will most likely take it off Goldberg. Maybe not. I don't know if he plans on sticking around for a while. But, and the Fiend will start a new feud with somebody. He doesn't need the title. Like I said, everybody's going to watch him no matter what, just because he's awesome. And with him defending his title every pay-per-view, I don't want the Fiend to become like a New Day. I don't want to be fatigued of him. He's not somebody that I really want to see every time SmackDown comes on, or every single pay-per-view. When he makes his entrance, I want it to be epic. And so, for that reason, after I thought about it, I'm not mad that they took the title off of him. He still looks like a pretty unbeatable, whatever the hell he is. So anyways, guys, that is my review of Super Showdown. Next one I'll be doing is the Elimination Chamber, actually just coming up next week. But before I do that, let me show you guys this. It's my birthday today. My 30th birthday. And this is what my wife got me. I got another master box of the Money in the Bank trading cards and the briefcase tin. If you guys watched my last videos of the Money in the Bank cards, I got a lot from these. The chances of getting hits out of these are really high. I think in this master box alone, up here it says 4 hits per master box. 3 of them are guaranteed autos. This has 1 guaranteed hit, and there's 4 packs in here with 1 guaranteed hit, an autograph, or a relic card. So, keep watching. I'm going to have that posted maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow. I don't know. soon, within 2 days at the latest. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Once again, thank you to Hard R Cards. I really appreciate what you did, man. And we'll see you for this next video. Take it easy.